let's talk about anger. I think anger, I like messing up pronouncing anger. It doesn't make me angry when I say anger. Okay, so anger is a very serious matter, and it's sorry, it's hard to be serious right about now. Okay, so anger moves, and emotion to me, I equate it, especially with anger and sadness, with energy in motion. Energy in motion. And anger is a lot of explosive energy in motion. And anger can be dangerous if expressed externally. So if expressed to you, if I'm angry at you and I express it at you, there's a little bit of danger in there, or a lot depending on my relation with anger, because of its explosive nature. But the core emotion itself, I think, is essential to express when there's anger there. Right when somebody posed this question for me, I also was experiencing a little anger. So the question was like, how can I work with my anger and allow it to be a more beneficial relationship? And I woke up in the middle of what was a nightmare, super pissed. It's something that happened with somebody like 5 years ago and then 10 years ago. And I'd already done all my self-work, forgiveness, apologized if I needed to, a lot of self-love around it, a lot of working with the theme in general that was playing out in this situation. And I woke up in the middle of the night, was just like, F this. I don't want to be more angry at this. Like, I want this to be done. And so I asked the jungle, I was like, okay, jungle, what do I do? And the jungle goes, the jungle said, hiss, little elizabethcocoann-a-licious, hiss. And so I listened to the jungle without much thought and started hissing. And what I saw when I was hissing, like a cat, was it was burning through the scene, not like injuring the person that was in the scene with me that I was imagining, but burning through the actual scene. So the theme that caused me to be angry at in the first place, that's essentially the culprit, because that's what other people are playing out in my life, is the theme that I have room for, that I have the blueprint for. And I wanted to hiss and start to move that theme. Anger moves things. So I can express it specifically at a situation or at an experience or at a theme that's in my life, and imagine it just reconfiguring everything. It's like the cat's hiss. So I was in the jungle when the jungle said that to me, and also I was with a bunch of stray cats, and the cats wouldn't let me pet them, which is of course hard for me. And so every time they'd let me feed them but not pet them, and every time I'd try to get closer, they'd hiss. And there's no fucking way I'd go closer to them right when they're hissing, because it's a huge fiery no. It's a no. No. You don't mess with a hiss or a growl. And what the energy does is, it's like a fire. It burns through things. It burns, so it combusts things. So in relation to anger, I'd suggest, if you're feeling angry, that it needs to be expressed but that you dip down below the brain. So just use the brain to bring up what you're angry about, to get that feeling, and then just keep it in this, unless you're doing this with a buddy where you're like, and getting really into it, which you can. But if you're doing it alone, to have a practice where you actually hiss, get that raw emotional energy moving. Oftentimes, once I do that, I'll see if I need to cry myself then, because tears, they play a different role. They're more of like a cleansing water that sometimes has to shake through you like an earthquake to get there, but it's a cleansing water, where anger's like the fire. Sometimes we need the fire to burn through the shit. The paradigms, the blueprints of our thematic experience, the themes that are moving in our life, sometimes we need to set fire to those. Okay, that said, once we set fire, it takes a little self-care. Like it's the, you can do one hiss, but it has to be mixed with a love. So after the fire comes water, comes softness. Each time you have a period of time to be angry, I'd match it with a time to be tender, to see if you need tears. If you don't have tears, just a gentleness. So we move the energy with anger. And there'll be a meditation to follow. I'm excited about making it. Right? You do that, and then see after the exaggerated anger if there are tears that need to come, or just softness, or daydreaming about one of your most delicious reality projections of whatever your daydream of wildest dreams can be, because you're unleashing energy. So you want to redirect the energy through either the felt sense of cozy, or dreaming, or dancing, right? So you move the energy into something different. I think that's it for now, friends. Bye.